Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Dedan Tolbert, host of the Dedan Tolbert Show, which airs weeknights at 9 o'clock at dedansplace.net. And one of the most popular topics going on in this country or being asked in this country today is, why do men cheat? Specifically, why do black men cheat? And since I'm a black man, I'm going to speak about why black men cheat. And I found that there are some really huge misconceptions about why men do the things they do. If you ask women, hey, why do men cheat? And you ask a woman that, I mean, I think that's ridiculous, as if women know what men, really think. But if you ask a woman, most likely she'll say something like, he's immature, or he's a dog, or he's afraid of commitment. But if you ask a black man, that's one of the reasons why I do Barbershop Talk Tuesdays, so on the Dedan Tolbert Show, so you can hear a variety of black men specifically tell you why they do the things that they do. But if you ask a black man, most likely they'll say, yo, she was always nagging, or she wasn't fulfilling me the way I needed to be fulfilled. Now, ladies, I don't want this blog to turn into a blame game or who's right, who's wrong. Cheating is never justified. It's never acceptable. Men should always communicate if they're not being fulfilled. That is my disclaimer. There is no justification or rationalization, but there are, however, reasons, real reasons, why people do the things that they do. And that's what I want to talk about today. So the three things that all men need to be sustained in any relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend situation or anything, they need to be sustained in three areas. Those three areas are mental stimulation, emotional stimulation, and physical stimulation. Now, when I say physical stimulation, I don't necessarily mean in a sexual way. I mean, that man must, and this is probably one of the least dominant reasons why a man would cheat, but he does need to be fulfilled physically, meaning he needs to be able to be sexually stimulated when he looks at you, whether he's having sex with you or not. What do I mean by that? A lot of women, you don't stimulate your man. You walk around these baggy, wrinkled t-shirts. You walk around in these, the head wraps, and you wear these baggy clothes that your man is not really feeling you in. He's asked you to wear certain things, you refuse. You just never seem to do it, or you don't do certain things in a sexual way that, or an affectionate type of way that he would like you to do to stimulate him. So that is, or that lack of behavior or stimulation will a lot of times, unfortunately, sending him into the arms of another woman. So it's very important to stimulate your man physically. If that man cannot look at you and be like, damn, she's the best looking woman I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe how sexy she is. I want to grab her and take her and kiss her and make love to her. Whether he's doing those things or not, that's a problem. Because be clear, your man will be looking at somebody like that. If he's not looking at you like that, if he's not thinking about having sex with you, there is someone else he's at least thinking about having sex with. You need to understand that and accept that, ladies. Be that, and I always like to use this analogy. It often goes over women's heads. I said, when a man is walking down the street with Halle Berry and he sees Beyonce walking across the street, his head is only going to turn, but so much, because he's got Halle Berry right on his left. When he sees Beyonce walking, it's not a big deal. Ladies, be your man's Halle Berry. Stimulate your man. Make sure your man is 100% satisfied with you. Now, that's the physical aspect of it. And I'm sure a lot of women, that just went totally over a lot of women's head. But don't worry, you listen to the Dedan Tolbert Show, weeknights at 9, you'll get it eventually. Now, the second thing is mentally. You guys are not stimulating men mentally a lot of times. A lot of times, you guys only know how to talk about one thing. The things that your man is passionate about, you're not passionate about, and vice versa. You guys need to find a way to become on the same page. You need to be able to talk about Barack Obama. You need to be talking about the new health care bill. You need to be able to talk about sports. You need to be able to talk about videos. If that's what he likes doing, you need to be able to relate to him. So it's not a blame game type of thing. It's not you're right or it's either you're compatible or you're not. So I counsel women, and a lot of them are just not compatible with what their man likes to do. And it's sometimes you need to go your separate ways. But be clear, if you're not stimulating your man in those ways, he will seek interest elsewhere. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll cheat on you, but you will not have 100% of his time or his interest. Now, the third, and in my opinion, the most important way that your man needs to be stimulated, it's not physically, it's not mentally, it's emotionally. Ladies, these men need to know that you have his back. We need to know that you love us. We need to know that you think that we are the greatest thing since sliced bread. It doesn't mean that we need our ego stroked, although that helps. It doesn't mean that we're inadequate and we need you guys to walk us around like some type of leash. But it just means we want you to be our biggest supporter. Meaning, if we have a career, if we have a hobby, if we play sports, we need to know that you're in our corner 100%. We need to know that you're there for us. We deal with so much stuff out here, and we need to know when we come home, our woman is there and she has our back 100%. A lot of you are not stimulating your men emotionally. On the Dedan Tolbert Show, we recently heard a man call in and he said, you know what, I talked to my wife about my goal of starting my own business. And, he said his wife laughed at him. She called his dreams stupid. She called his dreams ridiculous. She laughed. He said as a result of that, and this wasn't right, and I told him he wasn't right, he found comfort in another woman. He found a woman not to have sex with, not to do some freaky stuff with, but he found a woman who believed in his dream, who did everything that she could to make that dream a reality. He even admitted the things that this woman was doing, he wanted, he pleaded, he begged his wife to do, but she refused. So as a result, yes, it ended up being a sexual affair with this other woman, but that was not the intention. The intention was just to find someone who believed in what he wanted to do. We can make this a blog about how wrong he was about cheating, but to me, that's irrelevant. Everybody knows that cheating is wrong. We don't need to talk about how wrong he was. We all know he was wrong. My goal for doing what I do is to help you women avoid it. And some of you women out here right now listening to this are saying, well, a man's going to do what he's going to do. There's nothing a woman can do to avoid being cheated on. That's 100% incorrect. There is something you can do. I just told you. You can stimulate your man in the 3 ways that all men need to be stimulated: mentally, emotionally, and physically. If you're not doing those things, all right, you will, unfortunately, have a high probability of your man cheating on you. Now, be clear. I just did a blog about the 3 stages men go through, and I have to end on this. I'm not talking about men in the dog stage. I'm not talking about men in the player stage who cheat on their wives. I'm talking about men who cheat, who are in the ready to settle down stage. Those men don't think that just because they're ready to settle down and they think they have a good woman that they won't cheat. Because again, any man who's not satisfied in those 3 areas, unfortunately, will cheat. Now that's wrong, we all know, but it's real. So just self-reflect, ladies, and ask yourselves, do I stimulate my man? Is my man stimulated mentally, emotionally, and physically? If the answer is no, and if it's not a definitive, yes, definitely my man is stimulated, you need to check yourself and ask yourself what you can do, because most likely, unfortunately, your man is cheating on you. Hopefully, I've shed light on these subjects for you. Listen to me weeknights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Dedan Tolbert Show at dedansplace.net. Peace.